Welcome back to War Robots Frontier. So I'm actually making good progress, but sadly it seems like I have to go all the way to level 65 before I can craft something that is useful. So at 65 you get the Noricum and the turret skill, which is something I really want. I want both of them because this one is super hard to get otherwise. Other than that, I changed my mechs around, but to be honest, there's no way you're going to have a good mech. You just need to go... Yeah, you're going to need to change them a lot more. So this is the tier. The tier is one of the lightest chests, one of the lightest torsos. And apparently this is kind of like the maxed out, so for incinerators like this, the max you can get anyway. And let me show you what most people are doing. They're replacing this with that, and they're kind of making invisible famous all the time, which is kind of annoying. This is also kind of an annoying build, but I like to use it, sadly. I can use some cycle gear, yeah. The problem is that most of this stuff will have 1 weight or 5 energy cost, so it's not going to work on this one. I don't think I can put anything else over here. Let me see if I have something that is just for energy. Nothing. So yeah, once I get access to the turret and the Noricum, some things will change around for sure. It feels like I'm losing a lot of energy with this one, so maybe I should just change this a little bit. I think I have another tier shoulder as well. This seems to be mostly what I use. If I had a tier shoulder over here... The weight is the big problem over here, since we're already kind of maxed out on the weight. I think I want to keep the cycle gear over here, so if I would change that with another Noricum, what would I need? Boy. Yeah, this will not work, so let's just revert the changes and just leave it like this, because it doesn't really matter. So I guess at some point we'll just have to use better skills, but to use the better skills you just need to upgrade your other weapons and torsos and stuff, so it's a bit of a weird situation where you cannot upgrade anything, because that would mean changing too much. I can only put an extra Noricum over here. I guess you can make some interesting stuff. Let's just play a few games. I still have 11 days left of premium, and I'm not sure if I'll play more of the game, but I'll definitely try to reach level 70 if it's possible. And then just wait until the developer introduces more content, because the developers were basically doing a patch every 2 or 3 days to balance and fix things, but now they're not really doing anything with the game, so that's kind of disappointing. I thought after they would finish with the patching and other stuff, they would work on more content or just balancing, but nope, nothing like that. So let's play this robot over here. I kind of like it because it's so fast, which means sadly newer players have no chance against the thing like this.
I'm loyal to a contract, not a cause.
Okay. That's a lot of guns that the robot is packing. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, this robot is basically useless, because if you have incinerators without health, we're going to die very fast. And also one of the other issues is that this is how people are playing right now. Look at this. Nobody's doing anything, so most of the times you just have to wait for almost 5 minutes before something happens.
Prepare drone deployed. Watching out.
I guess I was just missing just a tiny bit of damage. As you can see, incinerators, if they're not max level, they're much useless.
Say when.
Which is so disappointing because that's kind of like the only thing. So if a new player joins the game, they will be forced to one, upgrade all of their incinerators to the max, 2, upgrade their missiles to the max, which doesn't really leave a lot of room for improvisation, like something like this. Yeah, I really wish developers would balance the game in different ways so it would have more improvisation. Or maybe we just need better game modes or better maps.
That's the spot.
I still have that bug with the torsos.
Watch out.
Yeah, so basically I can eat the snack or something else because nobody's doing anything. Look at how afraid everyone is of doing anything. We already lost 4 mechs because my team was not pushing at all.
Watch out.
Now I'm just getting bombarded by missiles.
Eyes peeled. Ducking out.
Yeah, there's not much you can do if you're not supported by the team, so it's kind of a shame that the game devolved into this slope over here.
Ready.
I guess we really need a way to destroy the missiles, especially the homing missiles. Yeah, the developers can no longer keep the game as simple as this. They really need to introduce a lot of balancing things. Yeah, the drone is... I don't think I can kill the drone. Or the little dude. I'm not sure. My entire team was basically wiped out again. And usually this is what happens when a team is wiped out. They just refuse to do anything for a few minutes, thus making your mech selection useless. This was supposed to be a push mech, so nobody's pushing. Yeah, we're just not getting supported by anyone, and I'm dead. Actually no, because I had enough charges to run away. Yeah, we just cannot even compare with some of the more advanced mechs, especially if people just play like a coward.
Move here.
Restoring fuel. War point online.
They were actually sort of pushing. This is our chance.
Enemy acquired.
detected.
But I mean, they're actually attacking us kind of in a big fashion, but we cannot do anything because my team is just hiding now. Also, it seems like the sirens are kind of dominating the game. Whenever you see a siren, they usually get a freeze and a kill. Even from a very, very long distance. Wait, I'll definitely change some of my loadouts, because this is not really working anymore.
Take him out.
Enemy position.
War point online.
I have to be very careful over here because I might die in a second if I'm not careful. Come on, robot. And that's not gonna work. Yeah, and just prepare for just the incoming missiles. And I don't know how they lock on so fast on you and you cannot lock on them. I don't know, I think a lot of maybe players are cheating because I'm seeing some impossible builds with some impossible energy costs. I'm not sure how people can fit so many weapons on their mechs.
Entering stealth.
How do they fit so many missiles on their mechs? This is what I don't understand. And how do they lock on so fast? Because they just fired a volley and now they're firing another one. Yeah, they're definitely cheating. I don't know, maybe someone can enlighten me on how they're firing so many missiles so fast.
Eyes peeled.
Aim for the legs. Hit it.
There's a straggler.
No, don't hit me. Oh wow. Also, it's like that players don't really take into account that they actually have mass and will push you around.
Destroy that Titan.
Something was repairing me. That was a bad idea to engage, but at least they're trying.
There's a straggler.
Rifle here.
Entering stealth.
Okay, that was kind of dangerous, but it seems like we survived. Yeah, there's no chance against something like that. I'm not sure how they're managing to fire so many missiles. This is the only way to kind of prevent... Well, the game is lost anyway, we don't have any chances.
Lighting target.
So lucky.
Enemy Titan deployed.
Yeah, no, let's get out of here.
Entering stealth.
Always next time.
Yeah, there's not much you can do against situations like that. I'm actually surprised we survived for this long. There's no way they can lock on that fast unless they're basically maxed here. It's hard to believe. Yeah, there's not much you can do. I just end the game.
Movement impaired.
Yeah, there is no chance. This is such a boring game lately, to be honest. Some enemy players are just too strong and there's nothing you can do against them, no matter how well you play or how much you wait. So that was almost a 17-minute game, which is annoying. No game should take 17 minutes. The max duration should be 10 minutes in my opinion. But that from the daily drops. Let's try another game. That was so disappointing. I just don't see any way the game would survive if the developers don't implement more warp spawn maps. Because if you're not wandering the map to capture spawn points, you're just going to die to concentrated fire or to mechs that are specialized in killing other mechs.
Battle contract.
Which I think is the problem. There should be either more jobs or more warp gates on the map, otherwise people just camp and kill other players, which is not fun at all, since you'll be facing much stronger mechs.
Warp live.
Okay, number 2. And again, last robot standing. You know what? I think I'll just leave. I don't care. I'm so tired of last robot standing matches. They are the worst types of games. Because not only do they favor the people who paid more for the game or people who played only in teams, they just favor people who are just good at killing other mechs, nothing else. Which is the main issue of the game. If you're going to have people just make mechs to kill other mechs, there's no way you're going to stop them. You'll not raise your defenses. You don't have a lot of defensive skills either way. I just like the warp game mode at this point. To be honest, if the developers don't implement a warp game mode only, probably people will stop playing in the thousands. Especially after they reach level 10 and pass level 10, so probably around level 20. Yeah, people will start noticing these things.
Warp activating.
Ah, robot standing. Oh, goody goody. My favorite game mode now. I just refuse to play that anymore. It's just so unfair and the teams are so unbalanced, especially because usually you get a pre-made team with a random team, which is usually my team.
Battle contract found.
I don't know why it's so hard to just introduce, let's say, 70% warp gate games. No, I don't think many people complain that they're not playing Last Robot Standing. And now this is just a game with bots. Yeah. I don't think this game will survive for longer than a month at this rate. Come on, game. Just give me a good game mode without bots. Is it so hard? I guess it's hard, to be honest. Also, I don't want to play with the same teams, because if you just play one game after another, you'll most likely end up with players from the same teams, or some players from the same teams. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I want to farm every day, but it's really getting harder and harder because I'm upgrading my mechs, my weapons and such, but there's no really real change in my gameplay unless I reach level 75, which will probably be tomorrow. And then I need to reach basically level 75, I think, to get the Siren torso. I was just not lucky enough to get it. I was actually pretty unlucky in the first month of the game because I didn't get any of the good stuff. I only got the stupid scatterers, which are useless in the game. Which is a shame because it's a rare weapon that is so bad. It's worse than the tier 1 stuff, the common stuff. Warbrush, finally, thank you game. A game mode I can really like. So yeah, Warp Gate is also, Warbrush is also faster, it's also more interesting. You also don't lose all of your mechs. You also don't have to face as many campers, because if you just go for another gate, there's nothing they can do. So let's see the difference between that game, Last Robot Standing, and this one. Kind of a cool looking map, but sadly it's a little bit annoying how they can snipe you from here most of the times. No more incoming missiles, please. If they introduce a skill that basically destroys incoming missiles, I'll take it on most robots, or at least on 2.
A mercenary's job is never done.
Look at how fast this thing is, I like it. So the idea was to just run to the enemy, kill it, and then use repair. That will never happen. What is the team doing? We should have... I don't know what my team did over here. They should have captured the other point.
Enemies hold more warp gates.
Now this guy's not moving at all, so it's blocking me. I'm not moving. Okay, anyway, the idea was to push him into my allies, but...
Repair drone deployed.
Well, my allies are not watching my game.
Distracting.
Yeah, I just dislike the gameplay in this game sometimes. I mean, they're just watching me get destroyed over there, and that's not fun. That should have been us killing that enemy very easily, but somehow we didn't. Oh goody, incoming missiles. I still don't understand how they can lock on so fast. Whenever I try something like this, it doesn't
I need
work.
assistance.
That's a good shot. Another good
Enemies
shot.
hold more warp gates.
Yeah, Dr. Cannons are actually a very demanding skill as opposed to, just pressing to fire missiles.
That's our target.
Yeah, for such a hard to aim weapon, this is ridiculous in my opinion. As opposed to just pressing a button and lock one, yeah. I don't know, let's try and go over there. Definitely so much more balance is needed right now that the game is actually in a very good state. It's just the matchmaking has a problem.
Enemies hold more warp gates.
I will take C because A is where they spawn. This is how they play the flamers right now.
Objective captured.
Such a stupid way to play with the flamers in my opinion. Yeah, they just turn invisible and run all over the map.
I'm dropping bombs on beats.
I really need to stop. Let me see. Someone said I can turn off the palette voices and that will stop them from stupid stuff like that. I'm just getting killed by, you know, premium pilots and nobody likes that.
Enemies hold more warp gates.
Yeah, this is how big gameplay looks like. Just pressing a button. See how long it takes for me to lock
Hold
on?
more warp gates.
Restoring fuel.
Yeah, I want some of this as well.
Allies hold more warp gates.
We can take B. They just hate the sirens. Mostly because you don't have access to them.
Titan discharged.
Come on, let the robot die. Yeah, let's switch. Just need to upgrade my Titan. To be honest, the best mech to upgrade is the Titan. Not sure what to fight here.
Incoming missiles.
Almost killed it. I have no idea what's going on. I guess at this point I just have... Yeah, I should have invested so much more in my Titan.
Enemy Titan deployed. Enemies hold more warp gates.
It's time for me to leave. Oh no. They'll just fire missiles at us from the bridge, right? Okay, let's scare them and then go and take B.
Enemy Titan deployed.
Not much gained over there. I don't know why my team is just huddling over there. We should be all over the place. We had a very good start, but now people are forgetting this is a capture game. Guess they really want to get those juicy kills. Yeah, if in this game you're also, if you're in a situation where you have to fight one mech versus 3 mechs, that means your team made a mistake, no matter. Well, I guess maybe you're just too far away, but still.
Enemies hold more warp gates.
Not sure how this happened, you know, losing basically all of the warp gates.
Enemy Titan deployed. Enemies are close to victory.
Yeah, man,
Incoming missiles. Entering stealth.
best I can do is capture this gate and run away, but run away where? There's no one from my team on the map.
Allies hold more warp gates.
We need to get higher ground. There is everyone.
Enemy Titan deployed. Enemies hold more warp gates.
Okay, let's go and capture C. This was a much better game. At least you don't feel like you're just getting farmed by, you know, either people who play a lot of hours or people who paid a lot.
Allies hold more warp gates.
I guess one thing I really need is a shield upgrade for most of my mechs.
Enemies hold more warp gates. Enemy Titan deployed.
Yeah, we already lost. There's nothing we can do. We're just to spread out on the map.
Allies hold more warp gates. Enemies hold more warp gates.
Yeah, at least it was, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's so much more fun, and even if you have a bad team or a worse team, you still have a little bit of fun and still get a better score than just getting farmed non-stop by missiles. Yeah, even though I had technically a very low score, it still was a little fun. Oh boy, I'm so far away from level. We have time for another one. No, we don't. No, we don't. I think my job progress was pretty bad. Unless you play with the team. Nah, let's play one more. Why not? Sure. Whatever game mode is, I'll play it. I guess the idea is that the game should be more fluid, and the game should have basically weekly challenges, or not weekly challenges, maybe weekly maps or something like that. It needs to have so much more content. Ultimately, that's what it's about, content and matchmaking.
1. Warping age.
And I think developers intended to basically use their daily quests, so people would switch out their mechs and their weapons, but nobody does that. It's pointless. Because after a while you can just craft everything you need, which is a great feature of the game. But at the same time, that just means people will just play whatever they like, kind of ignoring, yeah, team deathmatch. At least it's team deathmatch. And as you can see, that's a pre-made team, because that's a clan. You know what? I'm not even going to bother with that. That's a pre-made team with some of the best players I've seen. That guy Destroyer is pretty good as well, so not even going to entertain the idea of trying to fight against that team with a random team, so bye bye.